What is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sun any chance I get. And today we are going to be reacting to the brand new Iann Dior album titled On to Better Things. I've been pretty fascinated by Iann Dior for the past 2 years or so. This Texas-based rapper first began making waves around 2019 when he was posting songs about sex and heartbreak online. He was emerging just at the right time when the trend of emo rap was taking over the hip-hop scene, which was popularized by the likes of Lil Uzi Vert and the late Juice WRLD. He was able to release his first mixtape, Nothing's Ever Good Enough, which garnered him millions of streams and eventually led to his debut album, Industry Plan. I first learned about Iann when he collabed with Machine Gun Kelly on the Quarantine song Sick and Tired. That plucky guitar melody and the whole runtime keeps you coming back for more. I swear, it is too addicting. But what listeners probably know him best for is being featured on 24 Karat Golden's Mood, which topped the Hot 100 for 8 weeks. 8 weeks! Like, y'all can't see my thumbs, like, for real. I was always impressed by how he chose to integrate more rock elements into his sound, which I think really made him stand out from his peers. And now, we got a follow-up album on our hands. Before we get into the listening, though, I do want to give a shout out to Jess and Zena of Trans Girl Therapist, who are currently supporting me on Patreon, which you guys can do yourselves. The link is going to be on screen. Thank you guys once again for supporting me. I am very thankful for it, and I hope you enjoy this album reaction. And now, what do you say we get into On to Better Things? Track number 1, Is It You? Ooh. That crescendoing noise to open us up. I kind of like the imagery of water right there. The rain was already falling down and now we have waves coming at us. He's kind of questioning if he can truly live without this girl. Oh, I love how the composition is written here. It's great. It sounds very somber in its production. And we have the trap beat coming right in, baby. It's like he's chained to the destruction of his mind, you know? Okay, so that was Is It You? And I gotta say, it's not a bad opening track. It's like Iann reflecting on how much this relationship has gone south and how when he was with her, he just felt that life was bursting at the seams. But now it just feels like everything is just coming crashing down and his mind is like leaving him in this states of regrets and longing. And now he just wishes to have her back and he can't stop thinking about her. Production-wise, I really do like it. I like how they hold off on using the trap beat until the very middle of the song. Relying on the electric guitar is always a great choice. Love it, Iann. But yeah, I think the song is pretty decent, and I think it might actually set up what this album is going to be giving us, so not too bad. Track number 2, Complicated. Oh, I kind of like this mystifying guitar. Ah, Gaslighter. The fucking gaslighting is getting to him. See, my life could be so much better if I didn't have to put up with this bullshit. More specifically, you. This is something I shouldn't even be doing. I shouldn't be questioning the value of my relationships. I enjoyed those layered vocals on the chorus. Very nice to listen to. Nah, you can't change people, man. She's just like that. You gotta break free. I can't take this anymore. I'm scared. I fucking don't know what's gonna happen. Alright, so, Complicated. I really do like that one. I kind of dig it a little bit. Here we have Iann singing about this relationship he's in with this girl and how she keeps on gaslighting him and complicating things that happened between the two of them. And now he feels like he's just stuck in freaking Groundhog's Day, where he's just living out the same situation over and over again. And now it's just taking control of his mind, and it's sort of making him want to go insane. And this is so well emulated by the production, which is just so incredibly somber and just very solemn in its mood. Yeah, that was a shout out. And in a way, you can actually sense the sadness he's feeling on the track, and you can get a real taste of it. So I actually really think that one's pretty good, and honestly, it might be my favorite so far. Track number 3, V12, featuring Lil Uzi Vert. This one I already did a TikTok reaction to way back in September. You guys can check it out for yourselves. The link is going to be in the description. But, always got to listen to it with the record. Kind of get a little wistful vibe from it. I always think that's a reference to Coldplay. It has to be. Some sort of shout out or whatever. The boy is freaking stacked. In the teeth, and in the neck. It kind of sounds like there's a xylophone being played right now. He's naming all these different brands that I have no idea what they are, but I'm sure they're very luxurious. Prada could be a shout out to 24 karat golden, so. Are you sure you ain't flexing? Because you're talking about your jets and your diamonds, like, boy, you flexing, come on. Okay, so that was V12, and honestly, it's pretty alright to me. I think when I reacted to it initially, I was still pretty underwhelmed by it, and honestly, my thoughts on it haven't really changed that much. It's just your typical flex anthem with Ian and Uzi talking about their exquisite items and their girls and all that, and honestly, I don't have really much to dig in with it, including the production, so honestly, we can just move on. Track number 4, I Might. Ooh! Just comes right in, surprising me. I am lit and I might. He just hit that high note, like, damn. There it is again. Oh, is she seeing another dude? Oh no. Okay, so that was I Might, and that one was pretty short. It's like barely over 2 minutes, so wow. He's sort of talking about how this girl is like constantly lying to him and possibly like sleeping with another dude, so, and he just feels very, very just cheated on and betrayed, and he just wants to, you know, just let loose and like shake all the stress away. So I kind of like the guitar beat meshing with the trap beat, and it sounds really great, and honestly, it could be something that I might enjoy when I return to it. So track number 5, Heavy. Yo, I love this guitar intro. It's just so dark and just serious. He just feels better when he's just in his imagination instead of in the real world. Yo, this trap beat is a lot heavier than the previous tracks, which I really think makes it stand out a bit. Ooh, he might feel a little bit guilty about how he treats his girl. It's probably because you're left alone and no one else is around. You're just with your thoughts. Ooh, I love that line. They won't feel that space you left me. Like, no one else could fill the void but you. Kind of like this emotional little outro. Okay, so that was Heavy, and honestly, it's in the title, it's heavy. I kind of like how he's singing about how sometimes he needs to go inside his own head to like find some tranquility, sometimes he needs some peace and quiet, and sometimes the world gets too much to him and he just needs to be left alone. And you can also sense some guilt he has with how he treated his girl and how he wishes to, like, you know, make things right between him and her. And I like how the tone here is a little bit darker than some of the previous tracks, and the bass and beat feels a lot heavier, so it kind of, well, it's in the title, of course, but you could really sense the seriousness of his situation, which I really admire. So track number 6, Dark Angel, Interlude. It's like we're in a forest somewhere. I like how he describes it as a dark angel rather than a devil. It's pretty cool. It's almost like we're inside of his mind and seeing how it plays out. Interesting how he describes Marilyn Monroe as a rock star. And it seems like we're now exiting the mind. Okay, so that was Dark Angel Interlude, and that one is pretty straightforward. It's him singing about the darkness that he sort of feels sometimes, and how sometimes he just wants to escape the world and maybe like enter a much darker place, you know, if you would call it. I think he did a good job of sort of capturing just how trapped he feels inside of his own head, and how sometimes he feels like the world is too much, so much that like he just can't take it anymore. And of course it's going to lead into our next track, but honestly it's a pretty great way to introduce it. So track number 7, Obvious, featuring Travis Barker. Oh yeah, we have a punk song on our hands now, baby. Bring it on! The rapid, simple tapping. That's you, Travis, doing your thing. Ooh! Tempo change. Let's go. Ooh. Yo, I'm digging this vibe, baby. Yeah, don't get comfortable with the situation we're in, because, like, it's pretty messy. I love how you're just kind of like talking the lyrics or sort of rapping them instead of like harmonizing with them. For some reason, the song reminds me of Franz Ferdinand's "Take Me Out." Maybe it's like the beat or whatever. Okay, so Obvious. I really like that song. I love the sort of energy it has going for it, and I just love like Travis Barker coming in, lending his hand. Like, after all, he is practically Iann Dior's father in the music industry. And I love how it leans a lot more to punk with the way it's presenting itself. It seems to be another song about Iann dealing with this toxic relationship and how he just doesn't feel comfortable with the way that him and his girl are always interacting with each other, and they need to sort of like confront these feelings or maybe just split apart. The song is very fun, it has a nice groove to it, and it's so far a pretty big highlight on the record. Track number 8, Heartbreaker. I kind of like these sort of glossy notes that they're playing with right here. His girl is trying to get attention, or his ex is trying to get attention. I mean, that's what cocaine will do to you. I mean, it ain't gonna help you sleep. Like, I date a different girl every single night, girl. You ain't making me jealous. Ooh, I like that clapping effect. Ooh, kind of like how they sort of took out the beat for a moment and then just like put it back in. Ooh, I love this outro right here. Just letting it all play out. Okay, so that was Heartbreaker, and I sort of like how they structured that song. I love the production that they played with right there. And based on the lyrical content, it seems to be about Iann dealing with this ex that he has that's trying to make him jealous or envious of her life, even though she's totally failing, and he's just like laughing his ass off as he's like scrolling through her social media feed looking at her desperate attempts to like get attention. It's a nice fun little song, and honestly it really is interesting to listen to. I might enjoy it when I come back to it. Track number 9, Options. Okay, we got some somber guitar playing going on here. If it's you, that's wrong with me. Like, did I pick the wrong girl? Sounds like my boy's getting high. Oh yeah, it's like my Ferrari is like a freaking starship. Okay, so that was Options, and that one I actually liked a lot. Nothing too fancy about that one. It's just another like flex song that Iann is presenting on his record, where he's sort of talking about his cars and his luxurious vehicles and how he's just impressing his girl with just how fly he can be. I don't think I have much to say about this one. Hopefully I will when I revisit it, but yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's fine. Track number 10, Regrets. I kind of like this composition they have going on here. Melodies. Like, you're always in my bed, you're always in my head, and I just can't shake you. And I'm drinking out the bottle. Like, that's how much I'm coping with my problems in my head. They just really take an effect on me now. I'm just seeing fucking colors. And I sort of like the outro that's going on here. Okay, so that was Regrets, and the song is pretty straightforward. It's him singing about his regrets. I do like a lot of the work that they do with the melodies and the instrumentation, like the way they just capture this feeling that Iann is going through, where he's just in a state of mind where the memories of him failing to really impress his girl and make an attachment with her just keep playing over and over again. And I really love those glossy keys that they play with from time to time. It's really cool. And honestly, I think it's a pretty cool track. It's really catchy, and its melodies, of course. But yeah, I think that one is going to be a great one to revisit. Track number 11, Thought It Was, featuring Machine Gun Kelly and Travis Barker. Okay. Soft little acoustic guitar for the intro. We're setting the scene in Los Angeles. Ooh, that intense trap beat. I love it. I think this might be a song about him dealing with his fame. Ooh, really intense sound right there. We have a little bit more of a groove going on now. We have MGK coming in to give his rock cred. Oh, I love how he intensifies his voice right there. And the hills at night, it's like when he's really like going for his dreams in his darkest of days. Ooh, love that outro right there. Okay, so that was Thought It Was. That one is definitely a standout track right there, because, you know, the subject matter, it's about him sort of seeking out his dreams in Hollywood or Los Angeles, but sometimes it may not feel like everything he dreamed it would be. Sometimes he sort of loses himself, sometimes he had to change himself, and sometimes, even when he's there now, the darkness just sort of like creeps up on him and sort of like takes control of his spirit. And then you have Machine Gun Kelly sort of coming in and sort of like relating to Ian in certain regards. Because, you know, he's been in the game for a very long time now, almost a decade, or longer than a decade even. And he can sort of like really back up Ian in that idea that he doesn't sometimes feel right when he's in the spotlight. And of course, they have that very groovy beat, and the guitar playing is wonderful. Like, sometimes when they intensify it at certain moments, it just sounds great. Yeah, this one is so, so great, and I like it. Track number 12, Sinking, Interlude. Ooh. I love the electric guitar work right here. Ooh. Sounds very sad when he sings it that way. Heartbreaking line right there. I won't make it back to shore. Ooh. Those melodies just hit so right. So right. I love how he elevates his voice right here. It sounds great. Ooh. Great outro right here. Okay, so that was the Sinking Interlude. I really, really, really enjoyed that one. You can really sense in that song that Ian just feels this entire relationship falling apart, and he just uses the imagery of him drowning and not being able to make it back to shore, and now the lungs are just closing up, they're just filling up, and it just overtakes him. And the way they just compose the guitar and the beat, the very subtle beat, it just all comes together, and it really just captures the feeling of heartbreak and worry and just solemnness. And honestly, I think that might be one of my favorite tracks on the record. Like, it might be ranked very high towards the end of this video. Track number 13, Let You. This one sort of has a much more old school feel to it, I believe. For some reason, I get a really big That's What I Want vibe from this song. Like, it probably has the same producer. I sort of like that drowned out drumming effect they have going on there. I like that little melody he does with his voice right there. It's pretty cool. We're fucked up together. I love this pre-chorus, the way it's structured, it's so beautiful. Alright, so that was Let You, and I gotta say, that one is pretty jumpy. It has a nice little groove to it. It's like sort of like very wistful in its atmosphere. And honestly, like, again, I have to draw the comparisons between That's What I Want and this song because it just sounds so similar in its beat. Like, I can't not compare it. But yeah, that one is pretty straightforward. It's him just letting his girl go and just leaving her in the past so that he can move forward and focus on his mind and like escape from the darkness. I don't think that one is too complex, so we can just move on from there. Track number 14, Fallen. I love how it's very reliant on the guitar strumming, acoustic. It just replays in my head all the time. Oh my god! The way he fucking sings right there. It's so euphoric. Not a surgeon, but she took my heart out. Great line right there. Ooh, bringing in the tambourines right there. Liking it. Oh, and you can hear some guitar shredding. Like, in the background. Yo, Ian, I see the work you're doing there. Oh, I love the melodies right there. Oh, and the outro. And the outro. Oh my god. Yo, Fallen. That one is great. I'm like falling in love with it. But that one had like a very, very nice solemn energy to it. Like the way the tone just projects heartbreak and despair, it just really clicks with me. Like, he's talking about how he's free falling now that his girl is gone, he lost a part of himself, and he just sounds so devastated when he sings that chorus. Like, I think this is the best singing performance he's done on the record so far. And the rhymes are just very simple and they're very straightforward, but that's what makes them really connect with you. And it's just, oh my god, I can't even describe it. It's so great. That one is so beautiful, and hopefully our closing track brings just as much energy. Track number 15, Hopeless Romantic, featuring Travis Barker. No, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. You get arrested and probably crash. No, the drunk driving isn't healthy. Yeah, this one has a much joyous energy to it. Something that Travis Barker can certainly bring. Oh yeah, we're talking about starships again. Not those starships. That drumming from Travis Barker. It just really puts you in a good spirit. Ooh, the guitar shredding on the bridge. Love it. Pour it! Yo, the way he projects right there. Like this outro right here. Kind of like a good way to end the record. Alright, so Hopeless Romantic, and yeah, it's a good thing we ended on a much happier note. But yeah, I love Travis Barker's drumming, and Iann Dior gives some great vocal work, honestly. I was pretty impressed by it. It has a nice, joyous pop-punk feeling to it, and it works for a song where he's presumably talking about how he's always going to be there for his girl, no matter how dark the times may be. And even though he may not be perfect per se, he's always going to make an effort to improve himself and really impress his girls so that they can have a nice, healthy relationship. And honestly, that's a good sentiment. And on that note, I think I'm going to take a break. I'm going to listen to the album a second time. I'll come back later and give you guys my final thoughts, so bear with me. Alright, I am back, and I'm ready to give you my final thoughts on Iann Dior's On to Better Things. I said before how Iann Dior rose to prominence after emo rap truly took over, and boy does he actually fit the scene. Once again, we see him doing a great job mixing the trap sound with his more alternative elements, thus forming a cool sound that's akin to rap rock. His guitar playing is very wistful at times, carrying a real sense of despair. The melodies he crafts also showcase his solemn feelings, and help the listener gain insight into the darkness that's really sweeping him up. There are times where I can get worn out by Iann singing about heartbreak. It's sort of why I was thankful for Thought It Was, because it veered off from those themes. I understand that was probably the main theme of the record, but at a certain point I felt like there was nothing new to say about it. Barker and MGK are of course some welcome additions to the record, but overall the project is just average, with only a few tracks that I would happily return to. I give On to Better Things a 6.5 out of 10. My favorite tracks would have to be Fallen, Singing, and Complicated. My least favorites would have to be V12, I Might, and Dark Angel. But that just about does it. Thank you guys so much for joining me on another album listen. I hope you had fun. If you want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Twitter, my Twitch, and my TikTok. The links are going to be in the description. And be sure to check me out on Patreon as well. You can give me some great support in return for some great rewards. But that's where we're going to wrap up. My name is Gabriel Jones, and the sun may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care.